Hello everyone, Bass here, and I'm not playing NS2 right now. I'm going to be talking about the patch that came out a few days ago. Just what was done in it, and had anything major that's going to affect anybody's gameplay and things like that. So, first of all, the major thing that was done with this patch was docking got changed. And the changes that happened in docking, I'm going to be running around in the map while I talk about everything else. The changes that got done are a vent from locker rooms to maintenance there near courtyard, as you can see on the map. Cafeteria had a major overhaul. Things got moved around, a lot of changes went on in there. The room's still in the same place, in the same area. East wing got totally redone all the way from terminal up to departures. It's just entirely different. And therefore the vent from courtyard to east wing is different. Goes over to departures instead of right near the RT. The other balancy change was the courtyard RT has been removed. There's a couple other changes to it that were mostly unnoticeable. Things to fix cyst placement, pathing issues. One of the lockers in here was removed, but it was actually to fix a pathing issue as well. Let's see, anything else? Move terminal tech point? Yeah, a bunch of tech points moved. And 3 maps, including this one, so docking, this one, tram, and summit, had some changes to the commander's view. So there were objects blocking the view that were like dangling from above or whatever, and those were changed to be transparent for the commander, so it didn't cause any problems afterwards. So you don't have just junk in your face while you're trying to drop people a med pack or whatever. Alright. So, I'm just going to be running around, or at least attempting to run around and talk. So, changes. Non-balance changes, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, there were lots of bug fixes. So there were, as with the last few patches, there have been a lot of changes to the editor. But I don't use the editor, and I'm not concerned with that kind of thing, so I don't worry about that. And I'm not going to go over it. If you want to know, if you've used the editor, you probably read the patch notes anyways, because there's a patch. I don't use the editor, I'm not making maps, I'm not doing any of that, so I'm not too concerned about it. And yeah, there was the RT. Still power out here. Otherwise, this hasn't been changed. There were a few changes to the maps that had, like, a crate got shifted for cover purposes. I don't know if there's one here. I don't know. The music can be changed in bar now, too, using the jukebox. There's a vote to surrender now available in the same thing as eject commander would normally be up here, and vote surrender is on the bottom. It's not vote surrender, it's vote concede, I think. But, yeah. Means the same thing. There's a jukebox. An auto kick timer was added, or settings for an auto kick timer have been added to the server, so you can have it auto kick people at a certain level of fill as well as a certain level of amount of time. So if the server is only half full, no one will get kicked if you set it that way, or you can have it kick people no matter what, and just giving people a lot of options, so you don't have to use a mod for that kind of thing. As you can see here in cafeteria, the tech point is now over here near where the RT used to be, like here-ish. The power is now over here behind the bar, or I guess it's not a bar, it's a cafeteria line thing. And the RT is over here with the sign blocking view from this door over here. So this way, also this carousel, baggage carousel was moved, or not moved, it was lengthened from the looks of it by quite a bit. Yeah, effectively making... So, well, I'll get to the other change, then I'll talk about that. But it makes it a longer walk from terminal to the tech point. And it also means that if there's no, since there's no hive there, you can't just walk up here and shoot the hive or RT as a marine or a lurk or a gorge. And you can't shoot the hive or command chair either, since it used to be what was over there. This angle, however, it is actually going to be difficult. I mean, it's possible to buy all the power from here, but actually getting the shot to land is more difficult because of the bar. I'm sure some people would manage it, but it's more difficult. Okay. Back to other changes. The point system was changed a little bit to have people doing healing and welding to gain points for doing that. So up till now, gorges essentially got nothing unless they got the last tick on a building that they were helping to construct. Now the construction itself and even healing units and things gives you extra points, so you don't just look like you're doing nothing because you have no kills and we're a gorge. And welding does the same thing for marines, even though building always gave you points, just because if you were building it when it finished, you obviously finished it. Unlike gorges, where the building often would finish itself because it builds on its own, even if you're not there. Okay, so this room had some stuff moved around. I suppose the tech point and the IP are in different positions for pathing. Something with the windows, I think, though I don't know what. The power node was made so you can no longer bile it from this hallway easily. You might be able to get an arc shot up over this thing, but you know, it's certainly more difficult if possible. As you can see, the walls were changed to turn the texture quality up so you can see the nice posters that were added. The trash cans and the walls were made this nice orange. It looks a lot, to me it looks a lot more like something that someone would have at some point used as a terminal or whatever. It looks far more like an actual building that people used at one point in time. Alright. So, cysts were changed. Cysts now have, we're going on to balance changes. Cysts now have a limited range on them when you place, or not how to put this, a limited maximum range of placement. That sounds weird. So before you could place cysts at a range of 2 meters apart. So the minimum range for cyst placement was 2 meters. So you couldn't get any closer than 2 to the next cyst, but you could place them at 2, which means you could do something like surround an RT to, I think you put up to 5 around an RT before, which essentially meant that Marines who wanted that RT had to come in and kill every single cyst in order to take it, which really slowed them down. And there were some strategies that involved cysting all over things to prevent Marines from taking them. Cysts also used to spawn with 100 health, now only with 50, to once again help with that same problem, and enable Marines to more easily clean out cysts that have just recently been placed. Other balance changes, as far as I'm concerned, they're calling some of these bug changes, some of these are balance changes. As far as I'm concerned, anything that changes the balance, even if it was a bugs fix, is changing the balance, whether you want to say that or not. Dope fish. Lives? What? Is that a bottle of booze? Fan graph. Okay, moving along. As you can say, this is East Wing, with where the RT was, and the hallway leading up to it has been changed quite a bit. What? Bugs that were fixed. Well, features that were added and bugs that were fixed. Feature that was added was a timeout on Ono Stomp. So, Ono Stomp used to be you could just stun lock someone. You just keep stomping and keep stomping with multiple Onoses, and they will never get up. They will never die, they will never get up, they can never move or do anything. So they put a timeout on it, so at some point you will be able to get up and run around, and it won't work again for some length of time. These are changes moving up to 2 departures here. Power node's been moved, make it less viable from this hallway. I mean, you can still do it, but you have to get real close to do it, which means you're more likely to be able to kill the person. Whereas before you could stand like here and just duck around there and duck around here to avoid getting shot as a gorge. Tried quite a bit to fix that in this map. Well, fix it, I mean change it rather. Last thing, let's go to this vent. And there's a lot more places to hide as a skulk in these areas, under these stairs and things. This vent goes up and into courtyard. Making only 2 entry points to that RT instead of 3 like there used to be. Hopefully a little easier to defend, though that room, as far as I'm concerned, is far more advantageous for skulks. This was also removed. The ramp up here used to be you could walk up some debris and go up this broken railing here as a marine. Essentially, what's happened here with the map changes, this map change is terminal has been, without being physically moved, has been moved further from locker rooms, cafeteria, and departures. It is a longer run now, because locker room used to be really close by, because you just run right out here, go up this, and go into locker rooms, and you're already there. Which is is a really short distance compared to some of the others. Cafeteria had a similar problem where terminal may have been closer even. You go through landing pad and then you go over, and then you go in cafeteria and the tech point is right there. Now you have to run around that baggage claim and go all the way up to the top of the room just to get to the tech point. So it's a little further for the Marines to run. It's like they're trying to balance things with distance a little bit. And this certainly is a longer run to departures. It was not really a short run before, but this corner was not here at all, so it was just straight in, straight over. Had that little thing in the middle, the RT, over here, yeah, over there, and it would have been about here, I think, where you went in. No, about over here. Okay, then you went up here, and then you took your left or your right, and went into departures, and that was it. Now you have all these stairs, all this up and down, a lot more distance, a lot more corners that you're forced to take. And if you take the right or the left, you're going a further distance to the tech point itself. So it seems like they're wanting to balance things more with map change than with gameplay changes, because they haven't made this patch. They didn't make any changes other than that sys change that they're considering balance changes. The bug changes that I consider balance changes were they fixed Gorge Spit. Anybody who's played a Gorge quite a bit has realized at some point that the spit was messed up. It would just not hit if the person was moving. They said it was out of sync between the projectile and the damage, and it was either so like the projectile wasn't. I don't know what they mean when they say this, but as far as I could tell, either the damage was happening and it wasn't telling me it was happening, or the damage wasn't happening and it was because the projectile hit and it didn't register because the damage was separate in timing them from the projectile. I don't know what it means. But there were many times when you couldn't hit a person. And I know there was a problem where like if a Marine was sprinting away, just like holding shift and sprinting away, and I'm just spitting. They're running in a straight line, and I'm just spitting behind them. Not one shot landed. Every one of them straight line. There's no way I missed. It just never landed. That's different now. So, Gorges became really powerful. They're a lot more capable for defending a base, especially early on. Once Marines get upgrades and things, they can squish a Gorge pretty quick, and Gorges aren't as tough as they are later on in the game, and Marines are harder to kill. I don't know how that spit affects armor. I assume it's a 2-to-1, 2 armor, or 2 damage to 1 armor from the spit, so it's not the best thing for taking out a Marine either. But that, as far as I'm concerned, that is a game changer. That is an entirely balanced change, even though it was just a bug fix. Which bug fixes can't change balance. Something that was a bug that people didn't use before could easily become something that's just ridiculously powerful now that it actually works. I know there was a game I played the other day where we had 5 Gorges just hosed down, and you're doing 40 damage a second. 40 DPS with 5 Gorges, all just blowing things up. It was crazy, because you have 5 Gorges, and when you start getting shot, someone gets hurt, they just back up behind the pack, start healing, the next one does it too, and when you get full, you go back out front and you start shooting again. And you just got this carousel of damage. That's weird. You got this carousel of damage to the Marines on... They've never actually run out here. That is weird. Okay. Yeah, you have this carousel of damage and healing where you get these really tanky Gorges that just spit. I think it may be not respawning. Well, let's check it out from a Marine perspective. More changes. So yeah, Gorges became very powerful with this. Another change. So those of you who have been playing since 1 patch, 2 patches ago, I think is when it changed. But lurk spores became transparent. If you recall, I know I noticed, and I was like, "Oh, that's really weird." I thought it was supposed to be like that because them being opaque was just ridiculous. It made it almost impossible to shoot things when one flies through the room gassing you. But it's back. They fixed the bug, and now it's opaque again. As far as I'm concerned, again, a balance change, because that makes it a lot harder to hit things when you've gone and put a gas cloud in there that everybody's choking on. Some hit registration changes, or hits register more easily on skulks that are climbing on surfaces. There's apparently a discrepancy in the body's yaw value on the server and client. I don't know quite what it means, but obviously where the skulk was and where he appeared to be, or where the hitbox is and where he was were different or something like that, so you weren't able to hit them as easily when they were going up. So that's been fixed. A bug where hydras that a gorge had placed attacking would unstealth the gorge has been fixed. Low frame rates causing your LMG to fire slower has been fixed. A bug that allowed aliens to run at normal speed while cloaked if they held the spacebar down now has been fixed. It sounds like an exploit. Or, yeah, an exploitative thing that was in place. I never noticed it myself, but... Get up there. Okay. Units behind closed doors no longer appear on the mini-map. Or I guess this map too. Which I never noticed, but that's quite a change there once again. The L key apparently could not be bound in key bindings and now can. I'm just looking through my list. These are not all of the changes. Let me make sure that's clear. I have just gone through the list of the changer list. What the hell? I hope that does not come through. There is a... yeah, for the full patch notes, I just went through the patch notes, picked out the ones that seemed important. There were lots of changes, lots of bug fixes, lots of crash fixes, and various things that most people never noticed or didn't concern with. If you were obviously having a crash, you probably want to go look at the patch notes, see if it was fixed, or not even concern yourself with it and just be thankful that your game's working. Or not, as it might be. The atmospherics got changed? I think I talked about that. Maybe not. The flashlights, let me turn those on and see if I can demonstrate. So flashlights are easier to, or not so easy to blind your friends with. Atmospherics, which I always turn off because it looks awful. Well, the regular lights are still blinding, but the flashlight does not make a giant beam of glowy doom in front of you. So that, I guess, was a fix. Those atmospherics, as far as I'm concerned, look bad in the first place. Because looks like a smoking lounge or something when I'm just in some facility. Yeah, that part's weird. So yeah, balance should be a little bit different here with all of these changes. If I had music on, we could listen to some of that, but that's not going to happen. No music. Oh, there were people smoking in here. The facility, the departures has been changed quite a bit into something that looks far more like something that people would have actually used. It just, before it was very much like a game's level, a level from a game, and not so much like something that people were actually using at some point. And now it looks a lot better. Like that escalator to nowhere that used to be there, that's gone. Now there's actual escalators and stairs that go places, and actually in that tram tunnel. Get my blade on a stick out. In the tram tunnel over there, there's a moving train, I don't know if it's a tram or a train. Down in there, there's supposed to be a moving train. Not sure if I've seen it or not. But I believe these are the changes that I found important. And I'm just gonna ramble on for a minute about what it seems that Unknown Worlds is doing with, as far as these patches are concerned, is with balance. Because I know they put out a I don't know what to call it, message, a post. Yeah, they put a post on the forums where they talked about their process for balance changes. Some a week ago, it just flashed by and I was not looking. Whoops. I'm gonna stare and you can watch it. Yeah, they put out some patches regarding a post about the way they gather information for balance. And they do not do, according to that, they don't do balance changes based on pug matches, which is obvious. Most pug matches are not 6v6, whereas most tournaments, assuming they still are, they used to be, were 6v6. So 6 players and 6 players, which these maps are going to be quite different with only 6 players on them versus most servers have at least twice that, if not more, which is one of the reasons they lag so badly sometimes, because it wasn't designed for that. But it makes it more fun for the general, just makes it more fun. I don't care who you are. And so they don't take balance changes from these pug matches. They try to fix things that are frustrating from them without horribly wrecking the balance of the game. Probably why there haven't been as many balance changes as maybe some people wanted. I know I'd like something done with a few things, but something done with a few things, but there's nothing that's been done recently. The major patches haven't had any real significant balance changes, and it does feel quite balanced these days. I haven't had as many problems. I don't know, the shotguns were the main thing that lots of people complained about, the one-shot by shotguns. I don't know, I haven't encountered really good players with shotguns anymore, or if they got changed and it didn't make it into the notes that I've read, the patch notes I've read, or what, but they don't seem to be as much of a problem anymore. There's not so much of the dodging of them, it's just, I don't know if people are handling it different, avoiding the people just going around and doing the alien thing where you just harass instead of doing, but they don't seem to be as much of a problem. They don't seem to be doing, the patches don't seem to be focusing as much on the actual game changes, like changes to the gameplay, changes to guns and things. They've changed a few structures, health and things, fixed a few bugs with things like that, and they fixed these bugs that, as far as I'm concerned, were aliens got a huge buff this game, except for the stomp thing, which is, well, no one used that for competitiveness anyways. But they fixed a few other bugs that were just, you know, minor things for aliens that most people wouldn't notice. I guess the stealth thing was a nerf, but I didn't know about it, which I'm assuming that means most people probably didn't either. Somebody noticed it. Somebody was probably using it to do horrible things to some Marines, but they don't seem to be balancing the game through changes like that. They seem to be balancing the game more through map changes. Like this patch had a massive map overhaul and a few changes to the two other maps, but they weren't really balancy changes. Does that thing come by or not? Well, yeah, so they seem to be taking the balance in a different way with the map. Like, if there's a problem with some of the maps, then they're fixing the map problem, because it seems fairly satisfied with how the game's going, and I'd have to agree. They seem to be going with this setup where each tech point has an RT, and there's one between each tech point. So each tech point has an RT and another one. So terminal, and then east wing. I think it works out. There's one between each one. I guess except for terminal and landing pad. There was one in courtyard. I don't know. The ones in the center of the map just seem to be disputed all the time. They either put 2 there or they put none there. And it's just the way it seems to be going. I don't know if it's a good thing for balance or not. If they're like, there's too many RTs, we need to take some out. This map used to have several others. The one in maintenance, or did it used to have more, or did they just get moved? We used to have one in landing pad, that's been removed. There may have been one in central access at one point, I'm not sure about that. But the one in maintenance used to be down at the stairs as you go into generator. So they've been moving things around over time, trying to get them more spaced out. And I think that's what this was doing. So this patch largely, it made it look better for sure, more realistic, but it actually put more distance between terminal and departures. A lot more distance, a lot more travel time there. It actually made it easier for the aliens, as far as I'm concerned, it made it easier for the aliens to defend, though it may be easier for everyone to defend in that area. Because there's so much vertical surfaces for the aliens to go on, lots of objects to... Let's go wander around it, since that train doesn't seem to want to come. But lots of little places to hide. Like climbing up all in that mess, hiding around that corner, hiding under here, going up in there, up on that ledge even. I think maybe Marines can even get up there. Over in these sides, there's lots of nooks and crannies, which nooks and crannies tend to favor the aliens quite a bit, which seems to be what this whole area is about as far as I'm concerned. Like, the Marines always had a hard time holding this. And since they put it further from them, it's kind of like, and they put locker rooms further, and they put cafeteria slightly further, though not too much further. It's kind of like they want the Marines to use terminal, cafeteria, and the aliens to have departures, generator, and locker rooms. And it may be that it was because When the aliens spawned in departures, they were getting rushed by the Marines and just killed every time. It could be that's the right reason. It could be it's just they wanted to make it look better, but it seems like the changes they made were for balance. Because I could see Skulk just zipping around here, going all up in all that mess. You'd be struggling to shoot it as it peeked around things and went on over that sign and down and bit at your feet. It just seems like an alien haven right here. All these little things you can go, and you can even go under these stairs, like over there, and hide and go under this escalator. There's just so many places aliens can go. And I mean, Marines do have, there's a choke point now, though. There is a choke point from the other side, which if you set up sentries and have people guarding from up here or whatever, could be make the RT more easily defended by the Marines if they get a hold of it. But if the aliens are in here, you're gonna have a hard time. Can I run up this? Oh, I can. I don't know why, but I can. Whatever good this does me. I guess I can shoot aliens that are hiding up here. Yeah. There's no vent or anything there, though. That panel seems to have come out of nowhere. There's also all these plants you can hide into. You can actually just sit there on the side as an alien in any of these all the way down the hallway, and it gets very dark when the lights go out. I demonstrate that, but since the game hasn't started, you can't turn the lights off. Can't kill anything. Nice posters. It just seems like that's the way the balance is going these days, is with map balance rather than with team balance. It's like the aliens are seen, and the aliens and the Marines one-on-one with equal level play. Well, let me change equal there. Not equal levels of play, but the reasonably high, medium to high levels of play, they seem to be fairly well balanced. Once you get to really high levels, some of the alien life forms kind of seem to become just not as useful. But at most pub levels, and if you're a new player, don't go Marine. It's the harder of the two to play. I know everybody's like, what? All those aliens, you gotta run up and down the walls. No. Which is harder, running up and down the walls or shooting the thing running up and down the walls? Well, shooting skulks is quite difficult. So if you're new, you probably don't want to do it first. But everybody's drawn to it because it's got guns. I've played a shooter before. I know how to shoot things. Shooting things is more difficult in this because you're shooting these little things that are zipping all over the place and all over the walls, and they're biting your ankles, whereas running up and biting someone, that's pretty easy. Unless they're really good at maneuvering, in which case it can be a bit tricky, and you'll know it when you find somebody who knows how to maneuver, because they become hard to bite. But yes, that's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to tell everybody about the patch. Hopefully I'll do this again closer to when the patch came out next time. Next major patch. This was build 236 that I'm talking about. There was a build 237 that came out hours later. It was I think it was hours later, maybe in 24 hours. I'm not sure the actual timeline there. But I was there when it went up. Apparently it was just to fix some crashing that was going on. It was just shortly after I had finished downloading the other one. And then all the servers updated. And those servers update smooth. They didn't even kick us. They just rebooted, reloaded, and we were good to go. It was amazing. I don't know if that was that server or if it was NS2 server software or what, but that was amazing. Well, I can actually get in this vent. Ooh. No. Wait, come on. Come on. Oh, maybe not. Oh, well. Well, that's the vent. It goes into locker rooms. Makes locker rooms a little harder to defend. They used to have one that went into locker rooms, and that was a mess. Just a mess. Where did it come out? Did it come out? Either came out in courtyard, because that whole connection there between maintenance and courtyard didn't used to be there either at one point. This was not this patch, but that was at one point. There was a vent that came out. I'm trying to remember, were there 2 vents? There was a vent that came out, I thought, right there. It may have been one that came out over here at some point, too. Instead, there's just this one and the one out in the hallway over there. Well, I think I've rambled on enough. I've said what I wanted to say about balance. I'm going to towel off now. And, I've been Bass, and that was patch 236/237. My coverage of it, it's not everything. If you want full patch notes, there will be a link in the description to the main website where the patch notes were listed. And I've been Bass, and I just killed an egg. And I'm about to leave with my omelet. Omelet. Alright, I'll see you later, guys.